Alright, so today we're going to go ahead and be doing a review on a Hults Bruk Aneby axe. Excited to get to that. I guess you can go ahead and see that we're getting a little bit of wintry weather here, even in North Alabama. We do get that from time to time. 2018 is going to turn out to be a pretty good winter weather year. We've had ponds frozen enough to ice skate on. We get moisture from the Gulf of Mexico kind of fighting with the Arctic air coming down from the north, and it's not uncommon for us to get maybe one snow a year. Sometimes we miss a year, sometimes we get two. But anyways, enjoying that, but I'm going to enjoy even more doing this review. So the Aneby axe by Hults Bruk is one of their premium axes, which means that it's hand forged out of Swedish steel. Now, this Swedish steel that they use, that Hults Bruk uses, has been made in the same foundry since, I believe it's 1697 or so, give or take a year, but late 16 there. And that's really no surprise. I mean, the Swedes know their steel, they know their axes, and I'm really excited to go ahead and give it a shot. You can see the size. It's kind of a good size. I would kind of call this, you know, hunter's axe, or but I'll get to that. I'll get to a little bit more on the size in a second when we get to the measurements and what have you. Let's go ahead and move on. I've got this redbud tree here. A lot of people, especially in other parts of the world, may not know what a redbud is, but it's a pretty dense hardwood, small tree, and they're pretty hard, so this should give it a pretty good workout. Look up redbud. They're one of my favorite small trees, not necessarily for woodworking, although they're wood, you know, I have done some work with that, but they're very pretty in the spring, thus their name, redbud, but it's really purple. But anyways, I'll go ahead and get to a cut here and see what we can do. So my first impression is really good. So this wasn't really exactly a real felling job. I don't know, you could call it a felling job. But for the Aneby, it's going to be, you know, a decent job. You can do light felling, apparently, and we'll go ahead and get to a little bit of limbing here in a second. So this was not a redbud. I was wrong. That's another mulberry, and mulberry, pretty stout wood, I'd like to go ahead and make a couple bowls out of that. Be little saucers or something. But anyways, let's go ahead and get some limbing. Alright, so we have a handle length of right on 20¼ inches, just over. Got a back pull of about 2 3/8 maybe. Got a cutting face of 3.5 inches and a head length of about 6.5. Head weighs about 2 pounds, and you can see the fit. The fit on all of the Hults Bruk axes that I've ever seen is really tight. I mean, it's really tight along the top. Go ahead and do a under view. This one has a tiny bit of a gap right here. That is negligible. I mean, tight all the way around to the back, good curve, good symmetric to it. So, on the design of this axe, I want to cover just a few things. One, it does have a slightly rounded pole, so that would make it good for skinning. Kind of in line with some of the other brands on their hunter's axes. That being said, the pole is not nearly as rounded as, say, on a Grand First Bruk's. But definitely, that's what this axe was and could be used for. Also, as with a lot of the Hults Bruks, and this is purely their design, a lot of them, and I'm not going to say it's all of them, I've seen some of them that are a little bit more like that, they tend to have a little bit more of a curve to their blade, and their blade is not quite as broad to the side. A little bit more Swedish design, I guess you could say, rather than some of the Rhineland designs or German type designs where they flare a little bit more. That being said, that's purely more than a usability thing. That's more of a personal preference. Okay, this axe in general has a fairly thin blade. The grind on it, though, makes it, to me, feel a little bit as though it had a thicker blade. Now, that, once again, that's personal preference. It really has no bearing to do as far as the usability of the axe. And you can see, if we go ahead and get a close-up shot here in a second, that it's just because I think that the grind is a little bit more abrupt. That's probably going to give you a little bit more strength, a little bit less chance for rolling of the edge and what have you, a little bit more strength, but you're just going to notice a little bit in the bite of the axe. Once again, personal preference. Love this axe. Hults Bruk, I'm never disappointed with a Hults Bruk, and they're hand forged. From other videos, y'all probably know that I'm a big fan of the hand forged. They do an excellent job at the hand forging, and you can tell the detail. In fact, they probably, more than some of the other brands, they get their final finishing with their hand forging to a T. I mean, they really do a good finish and do a superb job. So, one last thing that I do want to talk about before we get to closing is their leather sheaths are a high point to me. I like the idea of the pull strap. Some of the other brands that I have done, have these. This is not necessarily dedicated to the Hults Bruk, but still, good design, fast on and off, easily to replace it. Thick leather. I like the thickness of the leather. Just overall, I mean, hey, we're really buying an axe, but the little things can make a big difference just in throwing the back of the truck, pack, whatever, how fast you can get your guard off. I just like it. Good fit, good feel. Alright, so thanks for watching today. I'm going to go ahead and try to close out pretty quick because I think I covered just about everything. There's not much else to say here in the closing segment. So, I do recommend the Hults Bruk Aneby axe. Check out our website, subscribe if you like the video, like, and check out our other videos. We've got, did frozen pond, cooking on a solid fuel, backpacking stove. We're proud of it, handmade in the U.S., and you can cook using pine cones, twigs, anything you find around. Just use this AA battery, and it's light enough to backpack. Got a titanium model that you can check out as well. Durable, fun, it's a cool thing. Go ahead and check right over here, click the video, and watch it. Thanks for watching, and you all be safe.